What's going on, you beautiful people? I'm Kunai, and today we're going to be talking about my top 5 tips on how you can get better at Spellbreak. Alright, kicking it off at number 5, we have lower and or increase your sensitivity. I would say this is going to be a case-by-case scenario because everyone plays different, but I challenge you to try a different sensitivity. If you are constantly hitting to either side of your target, to the left or to the right of them, maybe you need to try lowering your sensitivity so that you're not constantly flicking on and off your target. Or if you're trying to keep up with a high mobility character, then maybe try raising your sensitivity. If you can't move your mouse fast enough to catch up with them, then what are you even doing? But this could really go both ways. Try it out, see what you think. This could also be a Gauntlet case. I tend to run a higher sensitivity with, say, stone or wind, just because I'm usually in close quarter combat. But with ice or lightning, I tend to go with a lower sensitivity because I need those finer, precise movements within my mouse. And for tip number 4, we have what I think is to be one of the most important aspects about Spellbreak. We have spatial awareness and knowing the landscape. Stone mains, I am specifically talking to you. Stay away from steep hills and building crowded areas, especially if you are not as proficient with your offhand gauntlet. If you rely so heavily on people being on the ground, then you need to stay in a largely open, flat-ish landscape. A toxic main will eat you alive if all he has to do is jump on top of a castle walkway and wait for you to jump up there just to land in a toxic puddle, and you having to recharge your mana because you lost it all jumping up and down from building to ledge to walkway. This doesn't just apply to stone though. Watch if you're being kited by a player. Play the landscape to your advantage. Tempest can bounce all around these buildings with no rune while you're trying to hit them with a fireball. Alright, so for number 3, we're going to be talking about knowing your gauntlet and its capabilities. So you definitely need to know your gauntlet and its capabilities. Don't waste your mana on a shockwave that's clearly not going to go up a steep hill. You're only wasting mana and letting them hit you in between your shots. Toxic mains. Your toxic spread is meant to be used in close combat, otherwise you're doing less damage than a wind gauntlet. Be as close as you can. If you can't be, then use your fire gauntlet or whatever it may be to get more range on them. Again, you are just wasting mana and not achieving much. Frost mains, you have a much better chance at hitting your shots if you have the time to take them. I've seen countless times when I'm a stone main and they're using frost and I'm a solid 20 centimeters away from them and they're trying to get these little quick shots off on me for 20 damage apiece. Like I'm so close to you that I might as well snatch the gauntlet off your hand. Alright, and second to last but yet not last, we have know when and when not to fight. 20 HP is not the time to fight. It's the time to run away and cry for your mom because any player with 2 fingers is just going to melt you. Seriously, and this goes back to the spatial awareness point. If you as a stone main see people fighting in the middle of the map, Fort Hausen, or however you say it, and they all have conduit, fire, and toxic, you are not in for a good time. Let me just say that. You are not going to do anything there. I'm not saying it's not possible. If you get pushed, then play it as you see fit. But if you have the option, then either avoid the problem altogether or third party them when they are weak. You won't believe how important picking and choosing your fights are. Even if you barely win, don't assume no one else is in the area. There could very well be, and probably are. Alright, and coming in at number 1, we have the very singular, most important one so far, and that is to practice. Guys, the very last thing I have to tell you is to practice. You're not going to just destroy the pre-alpha testers and the hollow skin game giants if you do not practice. You can always complain that, oh, this is broken and that's OP, but what if that person was just better than you and had field advantages that they picked up from watching my video? This is why you practice, so you have the best chances possible when you come into these encounters, so this way when you practice you can only get better. Now don't get me wrong, there are definitely going to be some things that are just unbalanced and at times are going to be unfair, but until the developers have noticed the issue and fix it, we can only do one thing to be able to fight the problem, and that is to practice. Well, alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something useful from it, and if you did, drop a like, drop a comment, and make sure you tell me what you may have learned from this video, or something that maybe you just never even thought about. Any other suggestions are always welcome, but other than that guys, I'm Kunai, and I'll see you in the next one.